All right, well, this is going to happen. Sorry for keeping folks waiting. This is the June 17th, 2020 Town of Boston Planning Board. Can I go around the screen and have everybody introduce themselves? Sandy? Oh, Sandy's muted.
Sandy Nelly, Secretary, Planning Board.
Valerie?
Valerie Menastra, planner to the planning board.
Ann?
Nancy Arcia, consulting engineer to the planning board.
Gareth?
Gareth Huffam, planning board member.
Jim?
Jim Bacinas, planning board member.
Kathy?
Kathy Zelantis, planning board attorney.
Okay, Donna?
Donna Sharrett, planning board member.
Carolyn?
Carolyn Stevens, planning board member.
Okay, and welcome to the rest of the members of the public here. The first item on, I'm pretty much in, by the way.
We have,
Can I say something?
we have Jesus with us tonight too.
Uh,
Our alternate planning board member.
Oh, yes. Where, I can't see. I'm sorry, my,
Forget about me, huh?
I'm sorry. Today has just not been a good day for my computer. I can barely see people and it's cutting in and out on me on top of that.
Don't worry about it. I don't take nothing
I'm sorry.
personal.
Jesus?
Yes, Jesus.
Okay, thank you. The first item on the agenda is 125 Morningside Drive, new single-family residence architectural review.
Jane, beforehand, could I
believe
say
this was-
that I'm getting a lot of feedback? If everyone can put themselves on mute unless they're speaking, it helps a lot.
Yeah, for folks who don't know that on Zoom, you can put it on mute and then temporarily unmute yourself by just pressing the space bar when you talk.
Mr. Chairman, may I suggest when we get to the public hearing portion, the public comment portion of the public hearing, that we have Sandy individually unmute and unmute each speaker, and then have them ask them if they have any comments. They can state their name and then their comments, and then we go to the next person. That way it'll prevent people from trying to, all speak at once, and then also will prevent the feedback.
Sandy, I think that was agreed upon when we had first discussed how to run a public meeting. So you're set to do that, right? You could just nod.
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, thanks. Okay, is the applicant here for 125 Morningside
Yes, sir, I am here.
Drive?
Can you hear me?
I can't see who's speaking.
Hello, can you hear me?
David?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, great. Okay. It's just like because you were dodging off the screen, I couldn't tell that your mouth was moving. Okay, do you have anything more to add to your application at this point?
No, sir. We are updated the comments from the board for the last time we have the previous meeting about the windows in the side. We sent the drawings to you guys, and also we added, the vegetation. The board also made the comments. We added that information, and everything is in the drawings. We submit lately to the board for your analysis. But basically, all the comments are take care of it and address accordingly with the applicant. We did all the things according with you guys.
Mr. Chairman, just maybe for the benefit of the public, the applicant can do a presentation.
Yep. Okay. I don't know. Let me see if I need to share my screen. See the screen? Okay. My name is David Arango. I'm working for Rui Ariano. I represent Mr. our client is at 125 Morning Drive. Is a single family house. Is located in this area. If you see my screen, I don't know if you see it. Everyone see it, the screen?
Yes. I can
Okay.
see that.
The house is located here. They have two retaining walls, one in the back of the house and one in the front. This is the existing condition because they have a subdivision previously submitted a long time ago and that was approved. Now this is the project for make the new single house in the area. The project consists, hold on, to have this new landscaping plan we provide here. This is the provide new driveway and the house in the back. And we have the floor plan. This is the elevations. We're going to the first floor. This is the basement. Is the garage with the mechanical in the back. The first floor, we have the area here, the kitchen area here. This is the living room and family room and dining, the bathroom and the laundry area in the back. And second floor, we have the bedrooms. This is the roof plan. And we're going to the elevation. This is schematic elevation with the front porch in the front, windows in the front. This is the right size. We provide a new windows in the size. This is the back elevation with the little deck in the back. And this is the proposed left elevation with the windows in the left, with the back, the deck in the back, and the front with the porch. The materials for the we provide for the finishes is the siding will be 4 inches exposed siding, vinyl siding, color book skin. Corner boards will be 4 inches. Corner boards, book skin. The shutters will be color brown. We see in the attachment of the page number PD6. And the shingles will be color hickory. You see in the screen that what is the color we represent. The garage door will be this white with the 4 panels side lights and the lights for the decoration lights in the front. This is a photo for the retaining wall. What will be the finishes we can try to provide? This is blue stone. That is the thing we try to do. And we have some photos of the neighborhood, how is the conforming of where is located the site and the neighborhoods around, and the house we try to implement it there, is pretty much conforming with the architectural features for all the neighbors who are surrounded. One of the requests from the board was explained about the septic field, which you see in the PD2 is existing here in we can say in the back of the house, and the retention pond we have in the back we implemented, the area was missing in the existing survey. Everything is according with the zoning. We don't request any variance. The lot is conforming, and the house is in the location of the previous subdivision submitted. Excuse me.
Can anybody else hear David?
No.
I think he stopped speaking.
Yes, sorry, the communication is a little bit lack today. I don't know what happened. Can you hear me?
Okay, David, could you aim your camera a little bit lower so we can see your face and we can tell whether you're actually talking at any particular time?
Yes, sir.
Great, thank you.
Can you hear me there? You see me there?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? David?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Valerie, did you want to make any comments at this time?
No, I mean, we reviewed the latest submissions, and the only changes that were made were dealing with the windows to address the board's comments, as well as proposing some alternative plantings dealing with 5 white pines behind the American holly, and to decrease the number of American holly proposed to prevent, to still include screening, but without a hedge-like appearance as requested by the board.
And did you have any comments at this time?
Now, the applicant addressed, has addressed all my comments at this point.
Kathy, did you have any comments at this time?
No.
Ching, you're muted.
Yeah, is anybody, members of the board, any comments from the members of the board? Carolyn, you're first on my side, on my screen, so. You're muted. I'm sorry.
No, I think he's responded to all of the comments we made the last time. The landscaping. White pines aren't my favorite, but it provides the, you know, difference in texture and size and color, so. Yeah.
Donna?
I did have a couple comments. I was wondering, it's certainly more attractive on the side that faces away from the street rather than the garage side. Is there a way that you could just reverse the layout of the second floor so that you had 2 windows on the, facing the road on the, you know, on the second floor rather than the one? Because it does look a little odd.
Can you repeat it again?
Could you just reverse the floor plan of the second floor so that the room that you want with the closet, so there'd only be 1 window, that would be towards the back of the house? Because it looks really odd seeing the 1 window on the roadside.
Okay, it's a challenge because it's a modular house.
It's not a challenge because it's a modular house. They can put in a window just like we can frame in a window on a stick-built home. It looks odd, and that's the elevation you're going to see when you're pulling up to the house.
Because we provide, I think we provide once in the beginning, and the client, you know, say, you know, why you have a window in the walk-in closet, and we try.
It doesn't have to be in the closet.
No, but we try to move it to the bedroom, and the guy, you know,
it doesn't have to be in the closet.
I understand. You say you want to move it to the bedroom, basically to have 2 windows in the bedroom. We can try to suggest to the client, because we submitted one auction to make like something like that, and he was, you know, claiming, you know, to see who is the modular company, you know, because they provide like a budget, how many windows they can make it, you know, if not, they can go higher. But we can try to see if we can come out with something with, you know, with the client and the modular company.
So I'm sorry if I don't understand correctly, but why couldn't the 2 bedrooms that are on the back, why can't they be in the front? Why can't you just reverse?
You want to reverse the plan? You mean you want to make a zero?
Yeah, so you have the 2 windows in the front. Oh, you don't have to?
David, we don't have to do that.
Okay.
The thing
David,
is,
we can
you want to
put
make a
2
mirror.
windows in the bedroom, and you can put them a little bit closer together, closer on center. They don't have to be stacked over the first floor. You can
Okay,
put 2 windows on the second floor in the master bedroom, which a master bedroom can totally justify having a second window there. And they can be symmetrical on the gable, and they can be a little bit closer together so that it doesn't have to be in the bed, in the master closet. And,
Yeah, but
and it faces an elevation. It's a
one thing,
prominent elevation.
you see, if you're talking from the left side elevation, the windows align, with the
We
windows.
don't have to have them lined.
Huh?
We don't have to have them aligned.
But, aesthetically looks like a little bit better. But, if you make something like that look.
If that's the way you feel, I'm not going to stop you from doing that. I'm just saying that you
Yeah,
can have
yeah,
the 2 windows
I understand your
symmetrical
point.
on that elevation, and you wouldn't have that giant wall to the left of the first elevation that you're probably going to see when you're pulling up to this house.
Okay, okay, but hold on, let me go to the plan. But if you put that window there, where you put in the bed, you put it against to the door, and if you put in the windows there, you need to have like a space to put some furniture.
You're certainly not putting the bed on that wall. That's where the entrance to the closet is. We're not creating any kind of a conflict.
Okay, I can suggest the comment to the owner and see what happened. I think we submit something similar to that one, and he was claiming, how I can arrange the furniture around the thing.
I'm certainly not saying this is egregious or you're doing something horribly wrong. It's just that the house is very symmetrical to begin with, and that elevation just looks off because you stopped, 10% short of symmetry. I don't have a problem with the rear elevation.
That is a point of,
and I don't have a
it's a
problem
point
with
of view aesthetically. We try to be the more aesthetically viewed thing. I know they're going like a straight lines. Maybe that is the reason they have that. But we can explore that idea. We know
I'm very cautious at these meetings about spending other people's money. I'm not like that, but you're building a new house and we're talking about 1 window.
Okay, no have a problem. We can explore that idea.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
so I did have just 2 other comments. One was, since the garage is what you would see first, is there going to be lighting? You didn't indicate any, or maybe I missed it. Did you indicate lighting?
Yes, if you see in the page PD6, we have some decorative lighting in the exterior. That would
right.
be,
So how is that? That's just how would you operate that? Would it be on all the time, or is it timers, or you don't know? Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Probably no one's going to see this, but I just figured it's lighting and maybe it would impact someone, so that's why I was asking.
I presume it's like a motion.
Right.
Picture.
Okay.
It's only when the car approach or someone is close to the house.
Okay. So I just wanted to, what you just said before when you showed the pictures of the other houses in the neighborhood, I wouldn't, you said that it conforms with the neighborhood. I certainly wouldn't agree with that. Most of
they have some features.
Features. Okay, good.
They have a modern house.
I agree with that. Right.
Okay.
Okay. And then I thank you for, putting some other plants in that row of plantings. And, if everyone else is okay with it, I just would explain what I was talking about was that it would be a more natural setting to the area, which is just, there's deciduous trees. So you're still in essence, creating a hedge, because it's just going to be a big evergreen block. But certainly if no one else has a problem with that, I would, it is set back from the road, so I would defer to the others. And that's it for me.
Thanks, Don. Garrett?
Just a question about the stone wall. So it's a retaining wall, and does it retain earth behind it right up to the top? And if so, what's the height of that wall? And so what's the height that it's retaining? About 4 feet? Is that correct?
Yeah, if you see the, hold on, the section is in the page PD7, you see the maximum height we can go is between 5'2" or 5'6". The back will be around 8 feet, 8 inches or 6 inches, you know, and that is the maximum we can go. Because according with this standard wall we can try to provide, we don't go down higher. This is pretty much, if you see the section we showed there, you see the profile of the wall. I mean, it's like in the front we have like 5'2", 5'6" maximum, and the back will be like that little thing in the back, but it's no more than that.
So the image that I'm seeing is such low resolution that I can't read any of it. So I'm wondering about the profile of the wall. So from the photograph you showed, it looked like it's going to be where the type where the stone is facing. You know, the largest area of the stone will be like upright on the outer plane of the wall, as opposed to you know, into the wall. And I just wanted to ask, am I interpreting that correctly from the photograph? And if so, what's the interior of the wall?
No, the wall is a stone wall. It's not like a reinforced, you know. If you see the image in the proposed retaining wall detail in PD7, you can enlarge. Let me enlarge it for you.
Yeah, it's.
You see it here?
Oh, that's much better. Yeah.
Okay. That is the wall.
Okay. So
it's not like a CMU or a reinforced concrete wall. It's like that.
Okay, good. So it's solid stone all the way through.
Yep.
Okay. That was the end of my question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jim, any comments? Questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Jesus? Are there any members of the public who are, I'm sorry, Jesus, did you want to say something?
No, I had a question about the retaining wall, but it was answered when Garrett asked the question. That's fine. I'm good.
Right. Are there any members of the public who are interested in this matter?
Yes. My name is Matthew Lenigan. I'm from 123 Morningside, the original house in this subdivision that is below this one. And I guess just listening to you all, one comment that, yeah, the similarity of style thing that I think Ms. Sherritt mentioned, I'm not sure how relevant that is because our house is a mid-century modern and the my neighbor, Mr. Maricone's house above us is like completely different. So I don't know how you could actually have a house that would reflect these two houses. But for me, my concerns, I think, I hope are being covered by you all. Obviously, this house is going to, I don't want to say tower above mine, but we are a single story house and it is going to be above us. And so things like distance from the road, what sort of lights face the road, and the height of the home are what's important to me. In terms of the discussion of type of plantings, I'm actually not as concerned with, I would love something that is green and hides the house from my backyard. That would be fantastic. So whether it's stylish or not is not as important to me as whether it's natural and you know, keeps the house from looking right above mine and into mine. Also, I don't know, but I assume you said everything was within code, but the height of the home and the need to have, I guess, the garage underneath it makes it taller. And I'm just wondering, sort of, are there specific codes about how high it can be?
There are.
Does the applicant want to comment at this time? Respond?
If you go back to the, hold on, to the page, on the zoning charge, you know, they say the maximum height. there be, the minimum required is 35 feet. We provide
Could you
28.
enlarge that?
Huh?
Could you enlarge that so we could read it? So that everybody could read it. Thanks.
See it now?
I think a
You see
little
it?
larger would be good, so we could read the numbers. Perfect.
It's okay?
Looks good.
Okay. The maximum height required is 35 feet. With the calculation we provide is 28.75. I mean, we are all under the requirements. It's supposed to need to be 2.5 floors. We have only 2. Because if you make the concern about the grade, it's depend of, the things. The basement is not totally exposed. Only you see in the front with the garage. But according with the grade, because the grade variance, we not expose the basement completely. That means we are complying with the code about the proposed is only 2 stories.
Right, but the side with the garage is not, if I read the elevations correctly.
Yeah, it's correctly, sir. But the thing is this, because, we make the average of the grade. You see the garage is lower, but the other sides are higher. We need to make like the average, what is the points over there. Of course, the garage is exposed in that area because it's pretty much, for the entrance, but the other sides are covered with dirt. I mean, it's not only, you see, because you see the garage. You need to count all the 4 sizes of the house.
Right, but my concern is about raw height from the ground as it looks over my property. That's why I was asking. And so as far as I'm concerned, from my side, it's a 3-story building. It may be 2 stories on the back side that doesn't face me, but on my side, it's 3 stories. That's why I was asking. Is that clear?
I understand.
And I guess also the other question I had was about I'm assuming, again, it's within code and all that, but the distance from the shared driveway, which is being called the road for the purposes of this meeting. But just to make sure that, obviously, the further back from that, the better for me.
I think it was a previous subdivision approved from the town, and that is the location we have for the house. If we move the house, a little bit, we can say to the right, or we need it conforming with the regulation. I mean, we need to change everything and then start from the scratch again. I think.
I'm just, and I guess I'm just stating my concern for the zoning committee. I assume the zoning committee has already made sure that it is compliant, and I'm just stating as the neighbor who is perhaps most affected by it, I was just stating what my concerns are.
Has the proposal been considered in terms of whether it's within the code or not, Valerie?
Yes, it has been, and it is within the zoning code.
And we're here as an ARB tonight, correct?
That's correct. We do take a look, we do take a quick look to make sure that the application doesn't require a zoning variance, but it does not require a zoning variance. And yes, you're here as the ARB tonight.
I'm sorry for those of us who are, what is an ARB?
Oh, sorry, Architectural Review Board.
So the subdivision was approved quite some time ago, and was it 13 years ago?
Something like that, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so the approvals for the site itself and for the home to be placed on the site was taken care of then. We're here tonight. I mean, Valerie's here to confirm that the house that they're actually proposing to build, it falls within the parameters that are required in the code. But we're here tonight as an architectural review board
So I guess so.
Last look.
Thank you. My comments may be irrelevant then, but I guess just from listening to you all, I mean, I guess I want to say, like, I am less concerned about the style of the plantings as much as the effectiveness of the plantings as a shield. And in terms of lighting and things like that, again, style matters less than the fact that there's not some very bright light that is put up close to the road and shines into my backyard. So, and I also assume that, Jim, with this conversation about it being approved a long time ago, that the idea is that they continue to use the shared driveway and not create a new driveway.
I've had questions about that because, you know, all three homes are using the same curb cut, but it's whatever was determined prior to my placement on this board. I mean, it's a little odd that we have, you know, the house behind your house has, you know, it's a flagpole lot for all intents and purposes, but it doesn't use the flagpole part of the lot to access the property. So that must be an approval that took place, you know, prior.
Yeah, and I'm just checking to make sure that when the new house is built, they don't say, oh, it would be great to have our own driveway come down into Morningside Drive, because that would be sort of more of an environmental and stylistic disturbance.
I'm assuming that it was approved the way it was, just based on, you know, the topography and the rock outcroppings that, you know, currently live there, so.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Any other comments from the public or questions from the public?
Yes. Yeah, hi. My name is...
Name and address?
My name is Marilyn Sternchess. I live at 6 Morningside Court, and my concern is that my property will not be disturbed by clearing close to the property line of the trees that they would need to clear to build the home.
Applicant, do you want to respond?
I can hear you what she's saying. Can you repeat the question, please?
Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Yes, I live at 6 Morningside Court, and my home abuts the builder's home, and we have no problem with it. My concern is that with this new home, that the trees that abut our property will not be disturbed, and, you know, we'll have the privacy that we've been used to.
Let me show this landscaping plan. You can have an idea, basically. Okay, hold on. Let me enlarge the plan here a little bit. If you see the drawing here, we have the house over there, and we have some trees around, you know, like surround the driveway, basically, and some planting going to the house from the driveway. The planting we provide, you know, like from previous comments from the board, we try to put more natural trees, you know, to be conforming with the area. And if you see in the page, I don't know if you see the screen, we have some photos of the species we try to implement it in the landscaping in the site. I think we try to make the things like the more conforming with the area, you know, it's not something like different species, and looks like we have improving, you know, because if you see the site now is not have anything around it, we try to make like something more nicer and natural view.
David,
yes.
My husband has a question.
Yeah,
We both live at 6 Morningside Court.
Yes, we would like you to clarify what plans are to remove any of the existing trees that are adjacent to the 6 Morningside Court and the other homes on Morningside Court.
Yes, sir.
Existing trees on the property now.
On your property.
But let me.
Is there going to be removal of existing trees?
Oh no. We implementing this one, but the trees they are there. We don't touch it. If you see, we don't have it. We don't have any like removed trees. Everything is new. The trees that are 16 is still there. We don't touch it.
So you're confirming that the existing
the
existing trees that are at the rear of this property at 6 Morningside Court and the other adjacent properties, there will be no removal of trees along those lines.
No. These one are located in the top of the, you know, if you see they go, you know, they go in the top of the hill, And this house, like we can say, is like a little plateau, is there. Now the house is located there. It's a little bit forward, into the lot, but the tree is going like pretty much into the existing driveway we have now, and create like a little, we can say, barrier for the new driveway we provide against to the house. But the existing tree is in the other side of the lot. We don't touch it. It's only this one.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
David, is there any existing lighting that's being proposed that's on the side of Mr. Lenigan's house?
To be honest with you, I don't know, to be honest, but I can dig it up and find out. But roughly, we have only for the house, not for the other exterior thing.
I mean, there's already language in the code about not, your lighting can't be pointed off of the property, towards the neighbors. But
yes,
but
I know that.
It'd be nice if we can, put some of his concerns to bed here.
Oh, no, definitely. We try to take care of that situation because we can provide, like some, we call like a lighting plan, we show what is the fuse light going to, from every 2 feet. And we can show, this light, if we have there, how far we can go with maximum lumens. But according with the plan, we don't touch, it's only for irradiant light into the driveway to, show for the parking, and no exterior lights, from the road to, like we can say, to bother the neighbor. I don't see anything in the plan. But I can dig it up a little bit more if we have, according with the plans we have, is nothing else like that. It's only for the house, not for around the neighbor. And basically the house, is from the driveway and the front of the porch. That's it. And maybe an exterior light with a motion sensor, just in case around it, but nothing else. Not like a light post or something like that around it. I don't think it's like that.
I mean, I'm sure no one has any issues with you eliminating the parking area in front of the overhead doors, but as long as we're making sure that going beyond that towards the neighbors.
No. The light we provide is wall mounted. It's against to the house, and it's in both sides of the garage door. That's it.
Could you show the drawing that shows the neighbors' houses relative to the proposed house?
Yes, hold on. Let me go.
And please point out the house that belongs to Matthew Lenigan. I can't quite read your name.
Okay.
Lenigan.
We have the neighborhood here. This is the house. This is 123 Morning Drive. This is 127. You see it?
Yep.
Okay. This is 130. This is 128. And this is 124. If you see the colors in the bottom of the picture, they related with the things we have here.
Ah, very good. Okay.
That means every photo is taken from, the size of that one. I try to make the screen the biggest as possible, but it's impossible for me to zoom in and zoom out in the same time. You can check it out. But
just,
if you see the
just so
property,
we're clear, 1 and 2 are the only ones that are really going to have a view of this house.
Basically, yes. 1 and 2 are close to the house. The 3, 4, 5 are in the other side of the road.
So using your cursor, can you show where the proposed house is, and then which one of those?
You see here? You see my cursor right there?
Right up there? Okay.
Yep. That is the location of the house.
And number 2 or number 1 is Mr. Lanigan's house?
Number 1.
Number 1.
This house over here.
Okay. And so he'll be looking up toward the garages? Is that what you were saying?
That's correct.
And I didn't see the planting, or from the last image that showed the house and the septic, yeah, it doesn't look like there's much screening down in that direction, unless I'm not orienting
Yep, that is
correctly.
correct. If you see the contours of the topographic thing, you know, these contours going like every 2 feet. I mean, the house is located, you know, the house is pretty much where is the photograph, you know, the Cornus, Florida tree.
Yeah, so wait a minute, just so I get properly oriented. So in this view right now, I can see the proposed house.
Yep.
I can see where the macadam driveway ends.
Yep.
So I would infer that Matthew Lenigan is looking from the bottom of this screen up toward the house. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think the angle that I would be looking at is where the word macadam in macadam roadway is. Like my house on this picture is roughly where the second picture of the flowers is the end of my house.
Okay.
And, you know, and so we'll be looking diagonally back up. And yeah, that's exactly my question, was just about sort of screening and what sort of screening. And I have a great relationship with my neighbor above me, and I mentioned it to him, but I have never spoken in terms of architectural plans and said, geez, I would love, you know, he's got some great arbor vitae between his house and mine, and it helps me not see a mansion overlooking.
So I don't see any screening shown here between that second photograph of the flowers where your house is approximately and the house, the proposed house. So
Yeah.
why couldn't there be a whole line of screening on this side of the macadam roadway?
But are there trees already? This is a
Yeah.
very
No.
wooded lot.
No, it's really like it's like marsh grass sort of. It's not there aren't a great number of trees there. There are a few, but they're not a lot.
Right. I mean, I sympathize with Mr. Lanigan because he's looking at the worst side of the house. I would think that some tall tree screening in there would be appropriate. Donna, what would you suggest for in there?
Well, I actually don't want to suggest, and I think Mr. Arango has done a really excellent job in picking things, so perhaps he could come back with some stuff.
Yeah, but
If it is a wet area, then it would be something that could tolerate that for sure.
yes, we can maybe provide something, but remember, if you see the contours, the houses will be higher, plus the trees, you know, cover that area. You see the trees, the lime trees we have, you know, in the next to the road, you know, there.
Yeah.
Because if you see the contour, we have it's like every 2 feet. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can say 8 feet.
So if I could answer that, so that's exactly the situation with the house behind me. And what he planted was a very dense, very tall row of arbor vitae. And because of the proximity of my house to his house, there are a lot of angles right in my house where I don't see his house. If you walk further away in my yard, yes, I see his house. But it's the same thing about the distance in elevation and it going up quite steeply. But it's approximately, well, it's not in this photo, but it's not in this thing. But the point is that the arbor vitae do a good thing for us when we're in the house. When I walk further out in my yard, yes, I can see the house. But it would have the same effect here, where just making sure that there is some sort of natural border would help us in the short vision. And as you get further away, no, you're not going to not see the fact that there's a house on the hill above us.
But respond to that question, if you see the photo number, you know, in the opaque tree, I think when they are full growing up, I think they create like a green barrier in between. I don't think, because, you know.
But it looks from the description of where Mr. Lenigan's house is, it looks like it would skirt to the left of that line of trees you've got, that those would not screen the garage doors from his main view. Is that correct?
I think so. It's almost like there's a number there. It says 16.6 perpendicular to where the trees are marked. Like a screen there might be better than than as it is going out away from the front of the house. I mean, for the purpose that I'm saying.
May I ask you if you have,
The 16.6 is the road.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I'm saying in line with the 16.6, like I'm saying,
Oh,
like it goes away.
oh, I see. Like
Vertical
going, are you saying like through the E there and through the 3? Through the letter E and through the number 3 from lot 3?
Yeah, I guess.
That contour?
Right. So lot 3, where it says lot 3 on the left, the dark line is, this is sort of, right now that seems like my neighbor's lawn, but it will be the lawn of the new house, actually. It's also the septic field of the new house. And
Right.
so right now, where the property edge is, when you go to the right of the word lot 3, there's just a fence, and there's my yard and his yard. But yes, if along that vertical line there was a screen, that would be very effective.
may I just add a point though? Is that a septic field? There? That's a septic field?
This one here is the septic field.
Well, that's going to be very difficult to plant on a septic field.
But
So
is the
may I-
whole, I guess my question is the whole thing a septic field? Because up against the fence where the property line is and close to it, I'm not sure. I don't
Do
know
you
if
have
I'm-
trees on your property? Do you have
I do
trees
have-
on your property?
I do have trees on my property, yes.
All right.
It's really hard to see in this, but yes.
Septic and tree roots are a really bad.
It doesn't look like the septic system that actually goes up to the property line there. It looks like that's the expansion area that's required.
Yeah, I think it's a field, right?
If you see in this photo, you know, they have a wall here and a fence there, and they have some trees next to the road here. If you see my cursor there.
Yeah, your cursor's in.
According with the satellite photo, okay?
Yeah. So that where you're moving your cursor is my property, and I guess the question is about where a screen a screen of trees might go.
This one, if you see here, if you see my cursor, you see my thing?
Yeah, that's the entrance to the driveway, right?
Yes, it's going like this. You see that dotted line, you know, darker? They going like that.
Yep.
I going in that, make like a screen next to the road.
Right, but it stops the way you have it. It stops before the garage, which doesn't seem to really screen the view from that property, from Lenigan's property. So if you put screening on the other side of the driveway, on the lower side of the screen here, you could extend it further to the left, which would more effectively block. So keep what you have, but add some more on the other side. That's
Okay.
what I'm suggesting.
Hold on. Let me go back to this. You said you want to screen in here, in this side.
No.
No, on the other side of the driveway. Go further down on your.
This
Take your
one?
cursor down. Cross the
No.
road. Cross the
Across
road.
Here?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also along, you see where,
Along the driveway.
along the driveway, exactly. Parallel to the driveway line.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Here?
No,
Farther
across
to
from
the
your
left.
driveway.
Farther to the left.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Now you're talking.
Okay, but
I would
that
be
don't
very.
affect the septic field?
Septic field.
It's
I mean, there are guidelines about how far from the septic.
Usually they need to be between 10 and 20 feet from every branch. You see the branch?
Yeah, where's the branch?
And you see this dotted line is because you can extend the branches.
Right.
Okay, to be honest with you, I need to measure this part, but I don't know how far is that one. I don't think it's more than, you know. The thing is because the roots can go into the septic field and that destroy the use of that one.
Right. No, I totally understand that, and you have to respect, the integrity of that field. But it looks like, I mean, at the very least, you could plant some some not terribly tall things along there that wouldn't expand dramatically. I don't know the species to suggest for that, but maybe, I mean, something like a cypress, you know, which is tall but not wide, probably has a root system that is equal width to its canopy. I'm guessing there, but I would think that you could get something in there with, you know, less than a 10-foot spread and make a line of them, and you'd still be okay with the septic.
No, it would be better if we can plant in the trees against to the property line next to the neighbor. Because if we can screen in there, we are away from the septic field. And
True,
we
but you're also much lower on the hill.
Yeah, but remember, his house is lower than that point.
I'm sorry, are you saying plant them on my property?
No, no, no. In the property line we have next to, you know, in our side, but no in the you know, in the next to the road. It's next to your property, but you know, in the same line here. Let me show this line.
Perpendicular to the road. Yeah, okay. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Because no matter what, your house is lower and this is higher. If we plant in the trees,
I guess I would just say I'm really grateful to hear the zoning board encouraging it. I'm grateful to hear you considering it. That line would be great. If there's any way you can turn the corner just a little bit without disturbing the septic field, that would be great too. And by turn the corner a little bit, I mean go up from that to the left towards where it says lot 3. If you can, great. But anything would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I'd like to see a line of something along the driveway there, like directly between the garage and Mr. Lanigan's house. And, you know, propose something that is not going to affect the integrity of the field. Whatever that is, I would really like to see a line right there.
Okay.
If it helps, I'm even suggesting, why don't we take some of the trees from the other side of the yard and move them over there so that we're not asking you to purchase anything additional.
Okay.
Well, before, I mean, is the board going to be comfortable with do we want to have a limit on how many trees he moves over to the other side?
I could see the 4 trees that are, or the 3 trees that are closest to Morningside Drive, plus the one that's furthest in the rear yard, moving those 4 over there. And that provides a little bit of screening between the two properties that we're talking about. And frankly, the ones that we're eliminating isn't really gonna be screening anything. The 3 in the front are basically frontage to the street. And there's already plenty of trees between the front of this house and Morningside Drive.
I would agree with that.
And I don't think we're really talking about, I mean, we're talking about putting trees on the property line between these two homes, and that's kind of the septic expansion area. So there's quite a distance between the fields that he's installing and where we're talking about putting 3 or 4 trees. It's a brand new septic system. We'll all be dead and gone before that needs to be considered for expansion.
I wouldn't mind voicing an opinion that you not remove 4 trees from that existing shown line, and maybe the 2 on the extreme right. But I wouldn't I wouldn't eliminate all 4. I think that you'd then, start to open up different sight lines to the house. And also you'd be trading trees for, perhaps trees that could be very large for trees that, perhaps have to be kept, smaller species.
I don't want to tell the applicant exactly what to do. I want you to do what you're comfortable with, but we're offering suggestions to try to provide a little screening between an existing house and a proposed house. That's all.
Okay.
I would state it a little stronger than that, than a suggestion, in my opinion.
I agree.
Okay.
I thought I was muted. Unmute, mute. Okay. I am mute.
Excuse me. Quick question. Brandon Lawrence. I'm at 2021. 122. Quick question. I'm a little new to this board hearing, and this looks as though it sounds like we're talking as if this is already approved. Is this construction already approved?
There is not a building permit that has not been, a building permit application has not been submitted, I guess, formally to the building inspector for review, but the lot has been approved years ago, and
Okay.
And we're basically here as an architectural review board. I mean, our consultant planner is confirming that what he's proposing complies with the zoning laws.
Okay.
But we're kind of here on the aesthetic parts of it.
Okay, yeah, because it sounds like we're more or less discussing formalities, like this is already a done deal. Just wanted to confirm. All right.
Yeah, the lot was created. If our earlier conversation was accurate, I think the lot was created 13 years ago.
All right.
I think one of the attachments has the original date. It might be the one at the end that says signed plan or whatever, has some of the earlier dates on it.
Danny, who else wishes to speak from the public? Is there anyone else from the public that's, Sandy, have you seen who anybody else from the public wants to speak on this matter?
Hello?
If no one else has any more questions, I have maybe one or two. What is the next step moving forward, and how does this proceed?
Who was that speaking?
It's Brandon again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Valerie,
Yes.
would you like to?
Well, I believe the board will close the public hearing if they feel that all comments have been addressed. I'm going to turn it over to Kathy to kind of walk you through the legal components of the rest of the public hearing, and then also the board approvals or decisions.
Well, I think the board asked for some changes to the plans with respect to the windows and screening. So I don't know if the board feels like you could be in a position to close the public hearing tonight. You may want to continue the public hearing. That's up to the board.
It sounds likely that would continue into public hearing.
But you could direct, if you so choose, the preparation of a draft resolution. So you could consider it at your next meeting.
Okay, any other questions from the public?
No, I really appreciate the board's willingness to hear my questions and to be thoughtful about them. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. As well as Mr. Morocco's architect. Thank you.
Well,
You're very welcome, Mr. Lanigan. Okay, so in terms of this particular matter, we can just adjourn it for the next hearing, next meeting?
Yeah, you could consider a motion to continue the public hearing to the next planning board meeting, which is...
Hey, can I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Jim makes the motion. Who seconds?
I'll second. Oops.
Donna seconds? Okay.
So that'll be for July 1st?
Andy?
David, is that enough time for you to handle the window and the screening issues, the plantings?
yes. We tried to address that one and maybe submit it Friday if it's possible.
And then we're going to have a draft resolution prepared.
Yes, why don't we start preparing for a draft resolution just in case it actually is completed by that time.
Okay.
Okay, Carolyn, do you have, how do you vote on?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Gareth?
Yes.
Donna?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Okay, Jesus, you don't have to vote, but I assume you have no objections at this time?
No objections.
Great. Okay, thank you. Oh, Mr. Lanigan, just so that you're clear, you kept on referring to us as a zoning board. That's another board. Not that it really matters because we understood what you're talking about, but just so it clarifies it for the record, okay?
Okay, my apologies.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you all and have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
The next item on the agenda is 39 Old Albany Post Road, new duplex architectural review, and already in public hearing. Is the applicant here?
Can
Yes, ma'am.
David remove his drawing from the screen? Okay, thank you.
Mr. Fioretto?
Yes. Good evening.
How are you?
Anything new to add?
Well, I think we're pretty complete. And at the end of the last meeting, someone suggested about the planting in front of the, directly in front of the house. So I sent some pictures, actually, plans to have my own house. And then I saw some comments I received from Valerie yesterday. So I drew up a little sketch, which I'm not sure if everyone got the email of, and showing the areas that will be the, proposed garden area, which is about 500 square feet, pretty substantial size right in front of the house. But it kind of made sense between the sidewalk and the house to do an area as opposed to putting a little piece of grass there, but either one would work. And then a matching one on the right side of the house where there is no sidewalk. And I made a whole list of plants. Another comment was about the colors, because it's kind of I'm not the greatest artist in the world, maybe an olive green, kind of earth tone green color. And a suggestion was made that, it should be more colors besides green. So the plants that I have made a whole list of different local plants, and I put brief descriptions. Some are green with yellow edges on them. Some are green with yellow inserts. Some are red. Some are, reddish, purplish, all different kinds of colors, and some green with white, big wide white stripes and things, and just a mix of different plants that would look nice across the front of the house. I took an average of plants. Obviously bigger ones take a bigger footprint, and smaller ones smaller. So I took an average and come out with probably 20 to 25 plants would be more than enough. And I submitted that. Other than that, the trees and all the other issues, I think we resolved. I think I'm above and beyond what's required. And I think we have a pretty nice end product.
You're muted.
Just so before we start, is there any members of the public interested in this matter here?
I am.
Okay. All right. So any comments from Valerie on this matter at this time?
No, my only comment to the board, and Bruce brought it up, is that ultimately, once the planting plans get finalized, landscaping plans get finalized, that the final plan, site plan actually has all the details on them. At this point, there's a lot of, photos and a number of items going back and forth, and it would just be good to have one thing for the record, ultimately at the end.
Okay. Kathy, do you have any comments at this time?
All right, I do not.
Kathy or Dan, do you have any comments at this time?
Sorry, I don't have any comments.
Dan?
Mr. Fiorito addressed all my previous concerns, so I'm all set with this application.
Okay. Let's go around the board then. Donna, do you have any comments or questions at this time?
Yes. I just to clarify, I'm pretty sure you said that the driveway light would be on a motion detector.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And
it's not really pointing toward any neighbor. It's just warehouses and things like that. So I don't see any way, shape, or form it could, interrupt anybody's life there.
Right. Okay.
Really on the driveway area.
Right. And then, so I would just like to clarify. So you said you were putting in local plants. Those are plants that are available locally.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not native plants. They're available locally. So my only concern is, so first of all, I think you've really worked very hard at the plants, and I so appreciate that. And I appreciate you sending all the photos around your house, which I actually love that one wall. We have all those windows. It really looks like a beautiful house.
Thank you.
So I appreciate all that. My concern, and I'm going to defer to the rest of the planning board members to see, what they feel. But when I look at this neighborhood, it's hard to describe the neighborhood, but if I were to simply describe it, I would say it has a historic, eclectic look. And the plantings that are there now, they're like shrubs in the front. It's sort of, there's like a kind of a more natural feeling to it. The plantings, what I worry is that it's going to be a lawn and plantings that would be more typical of a traditional, like, suburban neighborhood that has a different feel. The lawn and the plantings are very different in the more traditional neighborhoods. And that is my concern from a visual, like from a visual of this house fitting in to the rest of the neighborhood. So that's where I'm coming from. So I would like to hear what the other members of the planning board have to say about that. So that's it.
Okay, thanks, Donna. Gareth?
I only took a cursory look at the list provided. Could you remind me if there are any of, like, as Donna was talking about, like traditional plants like native rhododendrons, which are the large leaves and very dark green, which I think would be good against the lighter greenhouse.
So Gareth, if I can just interrupt you there, the native rhododendron gets to be about 20 feet tall. It's really huge. So okay. I think you'd have to be limited to stuff that's going to fit into that space. So but I definitely get what you're going for, but it looks very different when you buy it in the store and then 10 years out.
Okay.
I did spend a lot of time with plants. In fact, a good part of today. And I do read on them to get things, because one thing that happens in so many houses, the plants overpower the front of the house, like Donna's saying, and they become 15 foot high or 10 foot high. So I tried to pick things that stay in that 3 to 4 foot range max, or less. So some lower, some higher. I tried different colors. Some, I looked at some rhododendron. I looked at, I was trying to stay away from the solid green. So there's some holly there with, say, berries, and
that's nice.
So and some another plant. I'm not an expert at this. I'm becoming one slowly here, but another one with like a green shiny leaf, but then it has little green sprouts of like green leaves popping up out of them. Very interesting stuff. Like that's how I did my own house. I just tried to look at interesting things, and we just kind of planted them around,
Are some of them flowering?
Yeah, some of them flower.
Okay.
Some flower, some don't. Some are. A lot of them stay color for a good part of the year too. Like my house, the snow is almost on the ground, and those red, you know, I always call them burning bushes. I don't think they are, but the reddish pictures I sent, they stay green like until after the snow, and then they pop out early again in the spring. So you have, you know, have to kind of get color, like the holly stay green, and you know, just to add color. But again, I was trying to get off the solid green with, you know, just to, you know, add, you know, and natural colors, not bright, you know, bright colors. That was my intent.
So if I may add just something, sorry, Gareth, that was one of my concerns, is that was barberry, which is on the New York State invasive list. So the nurseries sell it. I'll grant you that. And they put a sign on it that it's an invasive. It's on the prohibited invasive list. So that's what I mean. Those kind of things which are.
Well, I know your thoughts on that, Donna, and certainly we stay away from invasive. So if I did get one there by mistake,
Right.
I apologize.
There are some exceptions on the cultivar. So, but that would be, you know, that would be great if it does say, the little tag says on it, warning, this is prohibited.
Yeah, when I was reading them today, I didn't see anything that said that.
Okay.
I might have missed them. I didn't have like
Okay.
enough time to really go on and on and on, but I was trying to get it as complete as I could for everybody tonight. And I apologize last minute. I had a crazy couple of weeks, but I did my best.
So as long as you know, your choices are on the approved list of, you know, of plants for the town of Ossining, it sounds like, you know, you've put some good thought into that, and so I'm fine with your choices, and you know, I'm sure it'll be pretty. So thank you.
It's my house. I mean, I want it to look nice, and
So
I want to hopefully help the value of the houses around me there. You know.
Gareth, just to be clear, these plants are not on that list, none of those. So just to be clear, because they're not native plants, they're not on that list.
Well, I thought
just
there
to clarify.
Right. Please clarify further. I thought there were two lists. One was a list of preferred native plants, which we like, and there was another list of prohibited invasives. Is that correct?
Right. So there is a plant that's on the prohibitive list, but all of those plants are non-native. So they're not. They're traditional. You know, they're landscaping. You know, people use them in the suburban, you know, landscape, not contemporary landscaping, but they have been traditionally used. So, but they're not native. So just want to clarify that.
Okay, thanks, Gareth. Jim, do you have any questions or comments at this time?
I'd like to go to the neighbors if we could, but I'll wait.
I just wanted to finish up with the board first.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Jesus, do you have any questions or comments at the time? Okay, Greg?
Yes. So I haven't been
Hi.
following this up to this point, but could I just see a picture of what is being proposed?
Okay. Sandy, can you post up, have a image of the posted up? By the way, did you, does the public need are you familiar with the description by the applicant for this project?
I just have the notice that he was kind enough to send us that it's a two-family house. That's all I know. A duplex, two-family house.
Mr. Fioretto, would you like to give a little presentation for her, for your neighbor?
Okay, I don't know how to post pictures and things, so if somebody could do that. But it's basically, I think, Daria, we had discussed this in depth way back at the zoning.
Right, and we neighbors are very appreciative because
Yes.
you didn't have to do this. But I told my two less computer savvy neighbors that I would see what it looked like, you know.
Okay. And I'm not too computer savvy myself, so this is kind of new. But anyway, it's if they can post a picture, you'll see what it is. They have some, and it's a side by side, you know, duplex, and we put the parking all the way on the left side, like towards the roofing company, because
Okay.
you want the whole front yard to look like blacktop. Plus, then if you had a car to turn around, it would be all blacktop. So, so the whole front will be grass and some trees that we put in there, and then we're discussing the gardens and things for in front.
So they're looking out onto the river then basically from the front of the house?
Well, the rear of the house, the front of the house facing the road, we made it straight with the road because the other one was all kind of twisted on there. And then the fence that's actually the roofing company's fence, to cover that up, we have different, you know, all screening evergreens and things to try to make it more homey instead of being inside a warehouse.
Okay.
And certain trees like near the driveway that are more durable because of snow plows and cars and things. And then when it got to the backyard, more flowering kind of trees, but still, you know, hedgy type that'll cover the ugly fence that's there. But get things that flower, try to get things that flower most of the season, and do not invade the yard because it's not a wide backyard, so you don't want to go over the yard. So things like that we've discussed at past meetings and I've submitted. And
it sounds like you worked on that a lot. If somebody, I don't know, somebody that like Sandy or somebody that has an actual picture of the, there we go. Oh.
Now the color is a little bright green. It's really more of an olive green. It's a very earth tone green, probably more like the bushes in the front. But I don't know, Daria, if you saw the house I just finished last year on Cedar Lane.
No, I didn't.
Okay, if you're out for a ride, you want to take, that's the color. So you'll get an actual visual on it.
So that's going to fit on that lot. Okay. Looks big. So I guess one side of the duplex is bigger than the other side then, huh?
No, they're even. They're even.
Is it, oh, that's where the garage are or something?
No, there's no garage. It's
outdoor parking?
Outdoor parking. Because it was the same issue. If you got into the garage, it was difficult to be able to turn around. The whole lot will become blacktop.
Yeah, okay. No, it looks nice. It's going to be definitely a nice addition to the neighborhood.
There's the color of the siding there. So it's very soft green.
Can we go back to the picture? Because I'm going to make a screenshot of it and show it to my neighbors, okay?
That is available on the website, right, Sandy?
Is it on the?
Yes.
Okay, so if I went to the Town of Austining Planning Board website, I would be able to find it. Okay.
Everything that Bruce submitted should be there, available for you to review.
You'll also notice that after full discussion with the board, the project has really improved from the original. I mean, Mr. Fioretto has been really accommodating.
Right. Well, I just want to publicly thank Mr. Fioretto because we had urged him, but legally he didn't have to build a two-family house, but we wanted to keep the commercial district where it is and not expand it. So we appreciate that, all the neighbors.
Thank you, Darry.
Okay.
Are there any other questions, comments from the public?
I think I'm the only public.
Okay, Kathy or Valerie, what's our next step on this?
Kathy, did you want to speak?
No, that's okay.
Okay. So, and the board can then decide whether they want to, again, hold open the public hearing or they want to close the public hearing and then direct Kathy and I to prepare a resolution for the board's consideration.
I'm good with both of those.
Does anybody still need more adjustments from Mr. Fioretto?
So my question is that so far, will the site plan have all that information on it?
Right. So I would recommend that Mr. Fioretto revise the site plan just to update the landscaping piece. That's really the last element that I believe that's outstanding from the board.
Okay, can I ask a question? Is it okay if I, triple check the list of make sure invasive, this and that, and I leave a choice on there? Because obviously when the time of year comes to do the planning and stuff, I want to make sure what's available. And, you know,
So why don't we put it off until the next meeting, but we'll draft a resolution so that we can polish it off the first chance we get. How's that?
Okay, but is that okay if I put a, you know, on the site plan, put a list of different plants and, you know, just double check they're acceptable, et cetera?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And the area, and I'll have them put that area, designate that area on there. You know, like I drew in on the, because I don't think the site plans actually has a designated, but I'll make sure he designates a planting area in front of the house. Okay.
The more complete, the better.
Okay.
As best as he can, try to get him to show the plants in that area.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments from the board? Okay, can I have a motion to put it on for the next meeting?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Right.
And direct the preparation of a draft resolution.
Yes.
And did we close the public
Okay,
hearing?
Donna, how do you vote?
So I'm voting on, we're extending it, we're doing it next time, and we're drafting a resolution. Is that what I'm voting on?
Yes.
Yes. So yes. Yes.
Carolyn?
Yes.
Okay. Jim?
Yes.
Gareth? Where did Gareth go? Okay. Okay. Jesus, any questions, comments at this time?
Nope, thanks.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is the Sunrise Solar Solutions, Club Fit Briarcliff, 584 North State Road. Site plan amendment. The applicants here?
I don't think they're here.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.
I see a member of the public here. Are you here?
That might be Marilyn, who's from the EAC. Is Marilyn here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Marilyn.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi. I'm sorry.
Hi.
Frankly, I have a splitting headache from trying to piece in all the gaps in everybody's conversation because I'm sorry.
Okay. No problem.
Okay. Did the EAC want to make a presentation at this time?
Yes, I'm here representing the committee. A letter was sent to all the board members earlier today to review the, basically, I guess, the background and some of the recommendations from the committee. I'm not sure if you actually have that letter in hand right now.
We received it. I believe we all read it already. It was very
okay. Okay, so in the essence of time and since everybody has the letter, I just want to direct your attention to, I guess, some of the key points that's included in the letter. The letter does state that the committee did have a virtual meeting with Don McKenzie of Insight Engineering on June 8th, and we reviewed the proposal. And also, some of the committee members also actually walked the property to get an actual view of the property and the layout. There was a letter provided by the tree warden, Mr. Craig Stevens, of his observations, and based on those, the observation of Mr. Stevens and the applicant's information, we have 3 areas of discrepancy. The first area has to do with the actual number of trees. The applicant states that there are 17 trees, whereas based on Mr. Stevens' observation, there are at least 22 trees in question. The other discrepancy has to do with the health and the condition of the trees on the property. According to the applicant, the health and condition of the majority of the trees are poor. 2 have been designated as dying. And the other discrepancy has to do with the actual identity of the trees. The applicant states that, as I said, the majority of the trees are in poor condition. According to the Mr. Stevens, the trees that are listed on the applicant's document, he was able to identify an additional, I think 6 trees that were not included in their information. So based on the discrepancies of the actual number of trees, the health of the trees, and actually identifying the trees, whether or not they are invasive or if they there needs to be some remediation if those trees are removed, the committee has basically 3 recommendations to put forth to the board. And on page 2, we're recommending that there needs to be a review of the trees on the property to actually determine the actual identification of the trees, to get consensus on the health of the trees, and also the actual number of trees that would need to have a remediation provided if they are removed. So the committee, in essence, is recommending that there be a reevaluation of the trees on the property. And based on Mr. Stevens' calculation, there would be possibly maybe 20 trees, with maybe 50% of those trees having to have a permit and remediation put forth by the applicant. So in summary, that's basically the information that's included in the letter to the board.
Great, thank you. Thank the work of the EAC for their efforts here, continued efforts. I believe that we just had received a letter from the EAC. Valerie, did you want to add anything to that in terms of commenting it?
No, I mean, I believe that, you know, based upon the memo that I sent out the other day did not have the EAC's comments in it, although it did have the tree experts' comments in it. And I do think that it might be wise, I mean, the applicant's not here tonight, but we communicate to the applicant to have them go out to the site, readdress the EAC's comments, especially dealing with identifying the correct number of trees, and then recalculating the amount of tree replacement based upon the healthy trees that have been identified by the town's tree expert. And then provide that.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Sandy, can you make sure that that happens? Certainly, so before we open it up for the public hearing on July 1st.
Okay.
And Sandy, I can help you.
Okay.
Draft
Any
that
other comments we
email.
need to address this? Great. Anything else we need to address on this matter today? Kathy, Dan? Valerie? Okay.
No.
Board members, any comments at this time?
No.
Okay, seeing none. All right, thank you. Thank the AAC. Thank you, Marilyn, for your time here. I'm sorry we had to keep you this late. Okay.
No problem, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
I believe we should be going into, oh, actually, let's do the minutes first and then make a motion for executive session after that. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Any comments from the minutes?
Yes, I had a comment.
Hey, oh, I'm sorry. Who wants to make a motion on the minutes?
Can we make comments or you have to wait till you make the motion?
We're not discussing it
Oh.
until you make the motion.
Oh, okay.
So you can just make a motion to discuss it, yeah. That's fine, anybody.
I make a motion to discuss it.
Okay, fine. Okay, any comments on the minutes? Everybody okay with it?
I had a comment. So I just asked Mr. Farid, I don't know how to say his name. Mr.
Fiorito?
Farid, yes, you got it. Means flower in Italian, Sandy told me. It's beautiful. So I just verified with him that the side driveway light would be on a motion detector, not a timer.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then the second to last sentence in that section, it should be planting, not, it's just a typo. And then Sunrise Solar, now I'm very confused, but it says that they're removing 16 trees. I thought it was 17 trees, but maybe I'm wrong. So I don't know. But you have 16 in the minutes, so I'm just not sure about that.
I think they might have said something differently at the meeting than what was in their plan.
Okay,
Which is
okay,
part of the.
Okay.
Yeah, and that plan is obviously
Yeah,
going to change at this point anyway, so.
Okay.
That was the original plan
Okay.
they submitted.
Okay. All right, that's it for me.
Okay, any other comments? Changes, revisions? Nope. Okay, so let's take a vote on it. To approve the minutes as amended?
Yes.
Second,
Jim, yes. Gareth?
Yes.
Carolyn?
yes.
Donna?
Yes.
Okay. And Jesus, I don't think you were there, so you're not eligible to vote on them anyway. Okay. So the minutes are approved. Now, can I have a motion to go into executive session with the understanding that we will not be returning out of executive session?
For the purpose of discussing potential litigation and legal matters.
Yes.
So moved.
Any second?
I second.
Okay. Any objections? Gareth?
No
Agree?
objection.
Okay. Jim?
No objection.
Okay, and I agree as well. So we're going to executive session. Thank you very much.
See you.